Hey, my lovely goal-getters. Welcome to the Moms Making Money Show. I'm your host, Amie Pederson, business mentor and confidence coach for the emerging boss mom. It's my mission to help amazing women just like you up-level yourself and your business because you are meant for more than wiping boogers and folding laundry. I'm also a wife, mother, urban farmer, influencer, green juice enthusiast, and an unapologetic lover of cowboy boots. I can't wait to help you grow your business by sharing my tips, tricks, proven business strategy, experience, and incredible guests. Hang on tight and enjoy the show. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends and educational partners, HoneyBook. HoneyBook is an amazing service for creatives, visionaries, coaches, and business owners just like us. And the best part about HoneyBook, they're super easy to use, they're so super affordable, and they even come with a contract template specified to the type of industry that we're in that we're free to use and send to our clients. So basically what HoneyBook does is it helps automate the onboarding process. So I use this process for any one-on-one clients. I use this process for my mastermind clients. I use this process for events. This is something I use for everything other than like a self-study course. Anything that I want them to be able to have a payment plan for, and also to, if there's any kind of contractual agreement. So a lot of times you'll want somebody to sign a contract for your terms of use, your terms and conditions, and the terms of your agreement with one another. So this makes it super easy. So when you get somebody to sign up with you and they're like, heck yeah, I'm all in. Where do I sign up? Where do I start? You just get their email address, you enter in their custom program, or you can save a template if you have one that's always the same price, always the same contract. And you just basically fill in their information, fill in the price, create their custom payment plan if they are paying in full or if they're paying weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, like on specified dates, whatever that looks like for that particular client. You send it over once, and what it does is it sends them a proposal so they can see everything beautifully lined out. Then they can sign the contract and make their first payment. It's so simple. They can do it from their email box or from their phone in a matter of moments. And then everything is good to go. You're in compliance. You're all, ready to go with your contract, and everything is started right away. You can also set up follow-up emails. You can also set up what they call brochures, and you make beautiful introductions to your programs, to your courses, and to whatever it is that you have to offer. And these can be customized in so many different ways so that they are on brand with you. And the cool thing about HoneyBook is they have offered all of you guys 50% off for the entire first year. So this is one of the best bargains I think I've ever encountered. So to get this, you can actually start with a free trial, no credit card required, which I love. And but trust me, you'll love HoneyBook. So then if you're ready to get started, you just sign up. So if you want to get that 50% off, make sure you use our code. It's in the show notes, but it's share.honeybook.com/Amie, AMIE 935. So just click back over into the show notes if you want that, or it is share.honeybook.com/Amie 935, and that will secure your 50% off an already amazing low price for the entire first year of your subscription. I hope that you guys have a wonderful experience with HoneyBook. I know that I have. It's been a staple of my business, and it's been such a joy to use.
All right, everybody. I have someone super special to me who has a very special place in my heart joining us today. It is my girl, Chloe Lozano, and she is the Guru Goddess. Chloe, I'm going to turn it over to you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what a Guru Goddess is and how you became her?
Yes. Okay, great. So, as you see, in just like give an example, Beyonce has Sasha Fierce, like her stage name. The name, the Guru Goddess, was the name, like, number one, when people see me, when people like know me, the word goddess is just thrown around like toss. Yes, that's who she is. She's a goddess. I'm curvy, I'm feminine, I'm super into like, I have this like sex appeal about me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not just any goddess, I'm the guru goddess. I am the one that you come to ignite your goddess. I wanted the name to really stretch me so that I could always be living up to the name. Like, instead of having a name that's just like, oh yeah, like that's just Chloe, like, okay. No, I wanted it to be, or not just like, oh, she's a goddess. No, I'm the guru goddess. Like, I am the one you come to when you want to embrace your inner goddess and find your inner goddess even. So I really wanted to be that forerunner, like the forefront runner, the person you come to and you're inspired by, and also a name that won't let me rest. Like, I don't want to ever come as a half-ass guru goddess. Like, no, like there's no such thing. I have to always be at the tip top. Like, I have to keep my energy shining. So I really wanted a name that stretched me and made me feel uncomfortable so that I could step into it and step up and really like embody it. And it, you know, that's what it does every day for me.
Yes, yes. And so on your way to becoming, you know, this fierce goddess, what are some of the things that you feel like were obstacles that you had to overcome? Because how does one just step into this alter ego or this, you know, super high vibe all the time energy?
Yeah, so obstacles come at me every day. The resistance is heavy. When you start to stand the fuck up for who you feel like you truly are and what you're worth and your value and your power, when you try to stand in your power, things always inevitably come for that resistance. They come at you. And what I like to always say and what I teach my goddesses is that that is the universe's way of testing your spiritual gangster. Like, how bad about it are you about who you are, who you're trying to be? And it's kind of like the resistance and the obstacles that I have, and I'll get into like nitty gritty like details of them, but like the obstacles that come at me, instead I think of it as like an opportunity to condition the muscle to stand up, to be taller, to be in my power. The obstacles versus opportunities, that's a real deal thing. Like, how do you choose to perceive it? Some of the ones that I deal with are, you know, just normal insecurities that we all have, self-worth issues. Just every day is a battle with my own mind. That's just, that is what it is. That's not like like when people make it or they stand up and you see them as this influencer or whatever, that doesn't mean that they've got their fucking shit together. Like,
true.
That, like, none of us really truly do. Like, there's always something, there's always what I like to call your shadow. You have shadows that always come out into play. And a lot of mine are insecurity, self-worth things where like, imposter syndrome, that is a huge obstacle that I overcame to step into this name, and it forces me every day to overcome it. And that's one of my biggest pullbacks or fears or shadows is imposter syndrome. The syndrome of feeling like, well, who am I to deliver this? Who am I to serve in this way? Who am I to say this, to be this, to do this? And one day I just decided, like, okay, if I'm the only one holding myself back, and if those are the thoughts I'm having, well, fuck that shit to all of it. Let's just, you know, do it in the face of. So it's not that the obstacles ever go away. The resistance never stops. You just continue to grow stronger and you continue to push through whatever it is that comes at you. That's a lot, but that's what it is. That's just, so yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like too, as you like strengthen your self-talk, like, because like the mindset work, it's ongoing. It's not like, oh, I did a mindset course and now I'm tip top ready to go for the rest of my life and nothing's ever going to happen to me. I'm like Teflon now and everything slides right off. It's not like that. It's an ongoing process, but learning how to cope with these things when they come in, I think is like the best lesson ever. How did you find that coping mechanism within yourself?
So, hiring a coach to call me on my bullshit.
Yeah.
I am an energy healer, and I get my energy healed all the time to where it just brings me back into alignment. It recenters me to where I realize what's real, what's being made up within my head. A lot of the coping mechanisms that I use is it's like a form of meditation, but being able, like, so meditation, being able to sort through your thoughts, like being able to pinpoint, okay, what am I actually like perceiving? Like, what is actually happening? What am I making up? What am I fabricating even?
Right.
And just kind of like understanding, having self-awareness, and to have self-awareness by like I said, investing in a coach, investing in someone that's out of your like circle or out of your picture, to be like, no girl, like you are participating in this just as much as everyone else is. If
Yes.
anything, you are the ringleader. So that's what I like. My coping mechanism is to have someone in my corner to call me out. Like, surrounding yourself with those people, like, it hurts sometimes when you're called out. That's, you know, inevitable. It stings sometimes and whatever. But like, I would much rather, I'm addicted to growth. So I would much rather be called out on my shit than keep participating in the same bullshit, creating the same realities over and over and over again. Now, like you said, this is something that I've been preaching to my freaking core recently is, like you said, you don't just learn something or heal one time and be like, oh, I'm perfect. I'm good to go. I'm healed. I'm whole. I'm aligned.
Right.
Don't call me ever again. Like, that is like not a thing. I've been saying to all my clients, like, because they'll come to me and they'll say, Chloe, I really thought I was through this. I can't believe I'm experiencing this again. And I'm like, girl, you're just now like scraping the little baby surface. Like, this is only the first time it's circled back around. It's going to come back again and again.
Right.
And I like to compare it to, like, if you're an avid gym member, right? If you're into your body and you go and you sculpt the perfect bicep, okay, so does that mean you never touch the biceps again because they're perfect right now? Like, hell no. You have to keep retraining them, keep putting them under pressure, keep hurting them, like, you know, because when you break a muscle down, you build it back up.
Right.
You have to keep breaking that muscle down over and over and over again. And that's just what makes you stronger. So same with life, same with learning, same with coaching, healing, personal development in general. Like, you don't just do it one time and you're golden. Like, yeah, it's in your pocket forever. You have the tool, but do you know to use that tool every time? No. Like, sometimes you just forget, oh, I did have a tool for that. Damn it. Like,
well, yeah. Even like so this is like totally completely different, but I feel like it kind of gives people like a visual. So I have these little pincher things that you can use to get toast out of the toaster.
That's brilliant.
Pampered Chef. So I got those for my kid because he loves to make toast.
Yeah.
And I didn't want him to burn his fingers, because think about this. How many times have you reached for a piece of freshly popped toast and you're like, holy shit, that's freaking hot. And you like, you know, you're like hot potato and you drop it on the counter or on the floor or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the same. That's like almost exactly like what you're saying. It's like, oh, duh, I have this tool and it's right here in arm's reach, like in your pocket or in the, you know, in your drawer.
Yeah.
But I didn't use it. And I wish I would have, you know, now that I've burnt my fingers and dropped my breakfast on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, gosh, I've done that. Like, I do that like 3 times a week. And it's like, so that's just human nature. Like, we just always, we have patterns, and patterns are easy. Patterns are comfortable. Patterns are something that just flows out of us like freaking water. Like, it's just, you know, it's something that we're just so used to and quick to do it, that it takes a lot of work to be aware of when you need to use your new tools. Like, it's like, oh shit, like that's what they meant. And then a lot of times it's in hindsight. Yeah. It's like, all right, well, there went that lesson again. Great. Let's try to do better next time. But you never fucking know. So
that's right. And I think too, like, so I've talked about this before, probably on here, but definitely with like my clients and in other video trainings, is the way you speak to yourself. So because, you know, there's no big secret that we're our own worst critics, but basically we need to knock that shit out. So instead of letting that inner mean girl out to chastise ourselves, the best advice I ever heard was to speak to yourself like you're a 2-year-old child. So instead of being like, no, you did that wrong, you're worst, like you're so gross, you're this, you're that, whatever, and be like, no, that's not how you would speak to a 2-year-old. It's like, okay, honey, it's okay. Get back up, brush off the dirt. It's just a little scrape. I'll get you a Band-Aid, kiss it better, and we'll try again.
Yep, exactly. So with me being an energy healer, a lot of the things that we work through is childhood trauma and like stuff. And when I say trauma, it doesn't necessarily mean like a big scary thing. It could be literally that you dropped your ice cream at the wrong time and that was traumatic for you. But when we go back to heal those things, you have to have those conversations with that age of you as if you're talking to that age of you. Like, you can't be like, like you said, explaining to a 2-year-old like that they were bad and like, I don't know, that'll go into a whole nother thing. But you can't, there's certain things that you have to like talk to a kid, like you have to explain to them that. And when you're going through your healing of, different things that happen to you throughout your life, you can't just heal it at 28-year-old Chloe. You have to go back to 12-year-old Chloe, 4-year-old Chloe, and like have those conversations at that age. And it really helps the healing process go a lot smoother because that side of yourself that's still here is being able to be talked to or guided or taught in the way that it can understand.
Right. And it puts it back into perspective, like seeing yourself through the eyes of when you experienced it too.
Exactly. Yep. Because what we experienced is never really what we experienced. Right? Like it's just like a projection. So there's so many ins and outs and angles to different situations that need to be healed. So that's another thing, going back to the repetition of things. And when you learn something or heal something, it doesn't mean it's over. Like it's just over from that perspective. Then you get to a higher level and you're asked to revisit the same thing and you're feeling like you're going backwards, but you're not. You're just healing or seeing something from a new perspective, from a higher perch, from the left, from the right. So it really helps bring all the details up so you can really heal things wholly, like wholesome.
Yeah, I totally agree. And there's so many different ways to look at perspective. Like, so one of the stories that I heard about perspective one time was like, think about if somebody's house burns down, right? There's so many different ways to look at that. Like, so obviously for the person whose house it is, it's a really big deal and they're devastated and that's everything they have. For other people, it's like, oh, dang, like they're looky-loos and it caused them to be stuck in traffic. Whereas from a firefighter's perspective, it's completely different even still because that's his job and his, so it's like just the way people look at things are completely different.
Yes. I never thought of it like that. That's amazing.
Yeah, because it's the same incident, but everybody's looking in with a different view on what it means to them. Wow.
Those assholes in traffic.
I know, if they would just stop looking, traffic would go a little faster.
My whole thing is like looking at it from different angles from a building, like different windows, but that's amazing because that brings it to more reality. I like that. Cool.
All right. So since you are the guru goddess, and I've done some work with you myself that I think is like super transformational, super incredible. Yay. And I know that you really, really, really have like this magic gift for influencers and, women in business and at a certain level. So tell us a little bit about what exactly you do. I could rant on and on about you, but I want you to explain to everybody what you do exactly as a business owner.
Okay. So, serial business owner. I have like 4. But my main squeeze right now, my energetic, my energy healing coaching business. Coaching, whatever. I do offer some coaching and strategy behind my energy healing, but mainly what I do is I work with entrepreneurial women or influencers, women that are in their power, a lot of times the women I work with, the goddesses I work with, have it all together. They have everything they could have ever dreamed of, but there's still that like tripwire. There's still that one little thing, that little missing puzzle piece that it feels great. Everything on paper is amazing, but there is just something in my energy. There's something in my mind. There's something there that's just not quite right. Right. And there's a lot of it, a lot of times it's like, oh, I have everything I want, but I'm not fulfilled. Or I have everything I want, I'm still searching. Or I'm doing everything that I'm doing and I'm making an impact, but like, I want more. Like there's something there. Or they're sitting here living this life of grandness, but there's this healing wound. There's this wound that hasn't been healed from something they've been through, whether it's this life or another life. And they still feel that. And I know you know what I'm talking about when I say this. So it's just, so I work with these women that are in their power, and my reasoning for that. And, you know, number one, I was just like guided into this realm, guided to these powerhouse women. And then from there, I realized it's because like my whole motto was that the thing I stand for is that we can heal this world, but we have to heal as individuals first.
Yes.
So I stand for the goddess that wants to heal this world by healing herself first. And I got chills. Okay. So when I work with someone that's in their power and that is already creating the influence, the impact, and they're serving this world the way they were born to, when I heal that type of energy, that transcends and bleeds over and ripples out way more than if I was to be like working with someone that isn't doing anything with themselves, or is playing the victim role, is not ready to do the work, or is not showing up. Because I want, like I said, if I want to heal this world, that's a big space. Like, I'm one person. And so let's get to the masses. Let's trickle down effect. Like, it's like the pyramid scheme of energy healing, I guess. like, like really getting to like the powerhouse women that are out here that want to be more powerful, that want to make a bigger change in this world. It's just the amount of what I've seen like so far in my business, like watching the people I've worked with just move mountains. It's truly everything to me. And this is how I know, that I'm on my path. I'm being guided. I'm in my flow. I'm on my purpose. I'm serving. And it's just a really beautiful space to be in. I'm really blessed.
Yeah. I fully agree with all of that, like the ripple effect, all of it, because it's so true that, it's almost like kindness. If you do one kind thing for somebody, they're likely to do something kind for somebody else, and so on and so forth. So as influencers, a lot of coaches that I know, and myself included, I think it is so important to continue on that ripple effect. And one thing that you said that really got me thinking is even beyond that ripple effect, right, of, touching other people's lives, but that that like, and you feel this is what you're meant to do. And I think a lot of times people will force something because it looks good on paper, or they'll force something because it worked good for somebody else, right? Somebody else is the top whatever of their MLM. I should be able to do that too. Like, yeah, you can do that too. But is that like in your soul? Like, can you feel that that's what you're meant to do?
Have you been in my head? You've been in my head this past week.
I think so.
This is a thing for me right now. And let's keep saying what you're saying.
That was pretty much it, I think. But basically, like, I feel in my bones, and it like, you won't ever know exactly what I'm talking about, or like what Chloe's talking about, until you feel it. Like that you feel that there's no way you can't not do what you're doing.
Yes. Yep.
Right?
Yeah. That's literally it. Like, there was no other option but for me to step into this. There was no other avenue. Like, it scared the shit out of me. It pushed me, it stretched me, and it still is, because I'm like still fully embracing it. But I do see the trickle effect of, you know, I'm doing this and it looks good. And it's like, like their energy healers, you know, typically stay in a closed office. You don't really know anything about them. And it's really cool to see, because a lot of the healers that I really respect and have taught me and have guided me along the way, I just had a conversation with one on Wednesday where she was saying, like, I see when I get on social media, you're there and you're loud and you're telling people you're, you know, you're standing in your power and you're doing this. And I could never. But then I do see where I feel like I owe it to people to say, like, really, really make sure this is what, like, if you're being guided and I'm inspiring you, be inspired to follow your gifts, not mine. Like, just because it's working for me is because I'm in flow. I'm being guided. I'm being divinely guided. And, you know, it's cool to be inspired by people and things, but make sure, like you can take all the inspiration and motivation to get shit done from anybody. Right. But apply it to your life, apply it to your gifts, and really allow that magic to happen. Because otherwise, I've done it in my past. I'll go thinking something looks cool because Sally Joe made it look great and she's making bank and she's free as fuck and like, yes, but that shit wasn't my path. So dead end, skirt, dead end. I'm just trying to save you a dead end, honey. Just do what makes your bones tingle, what makes your waist down go numb. Like, you know, like do the things that you literally can't not do. Like that's where it's at. It's the magic spot.
Yes. And I've talked to and I've helped a lot of women transition, and don't get me wrong, I love MLMs. I think they're amazing, especially if you find the right one for you. But I've helped a lot of women also transition from MLM, knowing that they had this entrepreneurial bug or feeling or, you know, nudge, if you will, and transition into what their true calling actually is.
Yes, yes.
And they struggled so much forcing their MLM because, you know, they were like, I have to do it. 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 Even though they didn't want to do it. They didn't love it. It wasn't their true passion. It was like, oh yeah, I like the flavor of this shake, or I like this workout, or I like the smell of this thing, or, you know, whatever. But they didn't love it. It was something they could live without, you know?
Right. And I've pretty much done all MLMs. Like, all of them, and failed miserably. But like you said, it was just because I had the entrepreneurial bug. I knew I was destined for something where I wasn't working for someone else. I was creating my own freedom, but I just wasn't there yet. So just as motivation for anyone out there listening, if you feel like, you know, you have that entrepreneurial bug, if that's your window, girl, go for it. But be open to it not being that in the end. Like, be open, whatever route you choose to go down in life, period. Not even like, we can apply this to anything in life. Go down wherever you're feeling guided to, wherever you're feeling motivated to, because that action is going to inevitably show you your path. Whether it's not this way, honey, and makes you go the other way, or maybe it nudges you farther down it. Just make sure you're open to whatever that is that looks like. Don't put yourself in a box by creating your own little vision for yourself and being so stuck on it and stubbornly like, oh no, like this has to be my life. This has to be my career path. Because that's when you block your blessings. That's when you block the guidance. And when you're really just open to what might be, and you are willing to do it with fear present, and you're willing to try out, like with energy healing. Energy healers I know wouldn't fathom like charging over like a normal rate of like $60 to $90 an hour. Like that's just it. So in my brain, I literally made it up. Like that's all I can make from this, or whatever. Like this is all I can do with this. But I had to have the big yoni power, the big vagina energy to stand the fuck up for all energy healers and create the path. Like it's fucking scary. And I'm not saying I'm the only one out here doing what I'm doing, but I'm the only one in my world that I know of that's standing up in this power. Now there's some coming behind me now. That's cool. But like, I wouldn't have fathomed this, and it was scary as shit, and I've never seen it done before. But with the fear present, with the guidance that I was getting, I could not do it. It was like, if you don't do this, I could feel if I didn't do this, if I didn't try this, whether it's a failure or not, if I didn't try, I would have been in a worse place than I, was in the beginning.
Well, and that's just it. If you don't try, you don't know.
How would you know? Yeah, you've got to create that movement, that momentum in your life, the energetic movement. And just a little energy healing tip for you guys. If you can't create the movement in your life by making different decisions or taking big leaps or whatever, just start literally moving your body. Like, start dancing, start working out, start doing yoga. Just do something. Yeah, walk, stand up, because you're probably at a desk, like being pissed off. Like, just move your body so that you can create movement in your life. Anything that happens inside is happening outside. You just have to really embrace that and understand it and get out of your way of it, really.
Yes.
I was explaining that in my group program this morning, how a lot of this healing and personal development stuff, it kind of makes you mad because you're like, this is so easy. I can't believe people are like teaching this. And like, what is this even? But that's it. Like, healing and mindset shifts are really easy. We make it hard. We have like really thick, stubborn patterns that make it hard to peel back and stuff like that. Life can be hard if you allow it to be, but it doesn't have to be. We just are conditioned to feel like it needs to be. So yeah, just letting stuff flow more, being more at ease with, oh, this is easy. It gets to be easy. It can be easy. Like, let it be. Like, don't self-sabotage it into being more than it is. Period.
Yes. And I know like self-sabotage is its own rabbit hole. We could dive down that and talk for hours probably. But I mean, one thing you did mention is, so many people are doing personal development now. And I really feel like a lot of credit for that goes to the MLMs for like,
hell yeah,
that, like, pushing that on people. Because sure as heck know that like your 9-to-5 job corporate leaders aren't pushing personal development. They're not telling you go read books to like, take my job. They're not training you to do their jobs, and that's just the way, I mean, no fault of their own or, to anybody there, but that's just how corporate is it's just like you come, you keep your head down, do what you're supposed to do, collect your paycheck on Friday. Most places.
Yeah, and I've been seeing like big wig companies. Like, I know, like, I don't know if I should say the exact company, but there's a company my friend works for, corporate, that's really big. It's part of the Yum brand, and they do a lot of like, they're incorporating meditation.
Yes.
And like they're starting to see like, when you, once again, if you want to heal anything, like a big group of people, start by the individual. Like, if you want to heal your business as a whole, start with the individuals. Like, offer them personal development. Like, I've been hired out for one of my clients, hired me to come to her business and do energy healing on the business. And then also I worked individually with each of her employees just to get the energy going in there and just to get it flowing again and like kind of like jump them into their own personal development journeys, because like you said, like, you really don't know about it unless you really like somehow got like tripped into the MLM world, which is where that's where I found out. Kind of like, my personal development came from my first life coach, which he was actually a bodybuilding coach. But it's not like life coaching, body, like, mindset coaching, even energy healing. It's all kind of like not new, but like new to the mainstream, if you will.
Yeah, it's finally like more accepted as normal.
Yeah, like now it's like every time you go on a Target, the books on display are the self-help books. Like, like it's everything. Every bookstore I go to, actually, the first thing I see is like, girl, stop apologizing, or you're a badass. Like, those key books that everyone reads, they're right there when you walk in the store. It's a beautiful thing because once again, the world is fucking healing, because we're all healing and we're all fucking standing up taller, and it's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah. And I think what's most beautiful about it is that it is so much more accessible to everybody. Because you think about maybe like the Tony Robbins of 20 years ago, and you can only work with Tony Robbins one-on-one if you want to pay him $1 million. So he's worked with presidents, and he's worked with celebrities and people who have all that money. So I think a lot of people are thinking like, oh, Tony Robbins, he's the guru for all the rich people, or the super elite. But that's not the case. Like he's for anybody who likes his style and vibes with his energy. But I also think the cool thing too is now it is accessible. Like you can get Audible, you can get Kindle, you can get books anywhere. And for those people who really just want to learn and expand and grow, you can get a self-help book. I don't mean to call them self-help, but like any sort of personal development book at the public library for free. You just have to bring it back.
Yeah. Or like you said, like sign up for an Audible account, get a free book there. Make sure it's a good one. Make sure it's the one that is your keynote PD book. Because you get a free Audible. So use that stuff to your advantage and really just get out here and download this stuff. Like literally download it into your brain. Yep. Like you said, it's so much more accessible. Right now it's like a fad. It's going into the mainstream. It's popular to dive into this stuff. And even with energy healing, it's becoming mainstream. Like, let's all go get crystals and let's get all the essential oils and all of that stuff. So yeah, it's definitely booming, and for the better of the world, like the highest good of all. Like it's going to be amazing. It is amazing. So yeah, that's a really cool thing to see.
Yeah, I love it. They teach, like at my kids' school, because they go to a private school, they teach meditation. So like my kid will just bust out in like meditation, and he like does the little fingers and everything
that
like
is
on his
so
knees.
Beautiful.
Isn't
Lumi
that
does
the
that.
best?
My daughter, she'll come and do her Anjali Mudra, her prayer hands, and I'm like, I love you. Sometimes she like reminds me to like center myself. She'll she'll just be like, and I'm like, okay, baby, we'll sit here for a second. Like they're literally little Einsteins. They're so smart.
I totally agree. And I think they're because I think they're so much more in tune with energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't have as many barriers. Yeah.
That, and like they've had less time of people telling them that it wasn't the right thing.
That it's wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I think as women in our generations, we're helping build this into the mainstream. That ripple effect is still going into place with our children, and then their children, and then their children.
Yeah, thankfully, right? Like I'm so excited for my daughter to have been born into this type of household. Like to where me, her other, like my partner, her other parent, we both are so into personal development and spiritual healing and everything. Like, you're golden, girl. Like, you just have to deal with like regular life bullshit. Congratulations. Yeah. Like, you don't have to be completely traumatized and peel back a million layers. Maybe we'll just have to peel back 2 or 3. Like, like you can't stop them from experiencing life, but you can help them have the tools for it not to suck so bad,
Right. And hopefully with more of this stuff becoming socially acceptable instead of like some weird witchy voodoo, like whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, I've had people tell me like essential oils were like voodoo magic. I'm like, they are magic. That's for sure.
It's literally from a plant, yo.
I know. And they're like, well, I'm bleaching my house, but I'm going to need to research what you're talking about with this essential oil. I'm like, dude, it's a lemon. Yeah. Like, it's a lemon.
This literally what bleach kills. Yeah, people are crazy.
But they want to research it, yeah. So I think that we covered a ton of stuff today, you guys. And I know that Chloe has so much more to offer. And if you feel like you could use some energy healing, please feel free to reach out to her. Also, Chloe has a really, 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 and I emphasize the word really, stellar gift for you guys. This is something that she's only ever given to her highest level clients, and it's called the Ignite Your Inner Goddess Workbook. I will put the link for that in the show notes, so just swipe up on your phone and click the link, and that will take you straight into the workbook. Chloe, will you tell us just a little bit about the workbook? And before we sign off, tell us all where we can find you on all the places.
Okay. So the workbook is going to walk you through. So Ignite Your Inner Goddess. It's going to help you identify who is my inner goddess. Where is she? Like, let's peel back the layers. So we're going to work through the layers that keep you from embracing who your inner goddess is. It's going to align you with her energy so that you can, number one, call her by her name. Like, who do you want to be? Like, who do you want to step into? We're going to identify that and light that goddess on fire so that you can start showing up as her right now and start living her life right now. Like, I always take all my clients through this workbook, like, first, because this is the gold right here. So I'm excited to share this. Oh, you asked me where my social plugs are. You can find me at chloedevin.com. So CHLOE Devin DEVIN.com. There's all my social plugs there. Instagram is Chloe MF Devin. Chloe motherfucking Devin. Or you can type in the Guru Goddess. I will come up that way as well. And then same on Facebook. You can type in Chloe, the Guru Goddess, and you'll find my page there.
Awesome. Awesome. And for those of you who are on my social places, I'm linked with Chloe everywhere too. So you can just follow my stuff over to hers. But thank you so much, Chloe, for sharing your words of wisdom, sharing your amazing vibe, and also sharing your amazing gift with us. I cannot wait to hear everybody's reviews on the show because this show's epic. I love you. The energy is just,
yeah, I can feel it too. I'm excited and I'm so grateful that you have me on your show. I will be back.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. We have had a couple of gals on repeat and I just know you're going to be one of them. So I love you and thank you so much for hopping on today and sharing your gifts with everybody.
Thank you. Love you.
You're welcome.